Of the three, these front two, Broome and Anthony Van Dyke, advantage Aidan O'Brien. Richard Pugh, what's your opinion?
Guaranteed, and Broome will possibly be the last to go in for the Derby, Richard. A race to savour, it's all yours.
That's it, the time has come. It's the 2019 running of the Dubai Duty Free Irish Derby. Aidan O'Brien for his 13th, Anthony Van Dyke to become the 19th dual Derby winner. Dermot Well for his 4th, Jim Bulger for his 3rd, or can Kevin Prendergast pick up his very first Irish Derby? They're all in stalls. One seems to be giving a little difficulty the far side, but they're away, they're racing, and Broome surrendered a lot of ground as they race away in the Dubai Duty Free Irish Derby. Broome just stalled a little bit as they jumped, but not so Sovereign. Sovereign is the first to show, with towards the outside Norway, who got notably hot early on. So it is now Sovereign from Norway, and they go clear 4 to 5 lengths or so to Anthony Van Dyke, who sits in 3rd. 4th towards the outside is Guaranteed. Down the inside is Mad Moon. He got quite lit up on the way to post. Chris Hayes had to keep a lid on him. He settled down on the inside and has plenty of cover. Il Paradiso is on his outside. Broome is the early back marker. Rakan just ahead of this one, so they continue over the far side, making their way on towards the milepole, and it's Sovereign and Porrick Beggy who lead them along in the Derby, being chased in second by Norway and Shamie Heffernan. He's won 3, the winning most rider in the race, bidding for number 4 today. Then there's a good break back behind these to Guaranteed and Kevin Manning. He won it on trading leather. Next behind these is Anthony Van Dyke bidding for the double, and for Ryan Moore's first win in the race. Mad Moon for Chris Hayes is next on the inside, trying to pick up a position. And then is Broome, being followed by Rakan, who's next for Jim Crowley aboard for Dermot Well, bidding for his 4th, and they're being followed towards the back of the field as they take the turn by Il Paradiso. So now they make their way on towards the 6th pole, and they're clear, the pair. It is Sovereign who leads from Norway. They're clear from Guaranteed, who's in the chasing pack. Anthony Van Dyke is next. Mad Moon is on the inside of Broome. They're being followed by Il Paradiso, and last of all is Rakan. They begin now to descend down towards the straight, and it's Sovereign and Norway who are clear as they head to the 5, being chased in 3rd spot by Guaranteed. Anthony Van Dyke sits 4. Mad Moon's getting a lead there. Towards the outside is Broome. They're being followed by Il Paradiso, and Rakan is last of all. Down they turn inside the half mile, and it's Sovereign with Norway. They're a long way clear. Guaranteed. Anthony Van Dyke is just being asked for effort now. He's a good way back and has to pick up. They're being followed by Mad Moon, who's another length or 2 further back. Sovereign kicks off the front from Norway in second. Guaranteed. Anthony Van Dyke. Mad Moon trying to pick up now as well. Sovereign and Norway clear lead. Will they see it out? Anthony Van Dyke is trying to pick up with Mad Moon and Guaranteed, but Sovereign has first run now from in 2nd spot Norway. Anthony Van Dyke still plenty to do with Mad Moon on his tail, and they're being followed by Guaranteed. Furlong down, Sovereign is clear in the Derby. From over on the near side, Anthony Van Dyke, he's still got 4 or 5 lengths to find, and it's Sovereign who's clear. It's the outsider, the pacemaker, Porrick Beggy did it up to him a couple of years ago. It's a record again for Aidan O'Brien. Sovereign has won the Derby. Anthony Van Dyke is second. Back in 3rd is Norway. 4th goes to Mad Moon. Guaranteed is next, and they're followed in by Broome. Further back behind these, Il Paradiso and Rakan was next. Was Sovereign jumped out the gate. He went so quickly. They got the splits wrong. Porrick Beggy's won the Derby. The form is upside down, but that's the way it falls.
What an extraordinary race. We knew he was going to be quick from the gate. We didn't know he was going to last there. Ted, racing is an extraordinary thing. This horse, he's won on merit. He's set the fractions and he's won by plenty.
Well, he done the same thing in Leopardstown and the Darrenstown when Broome beat him. He jumped out, he went a real good gallop every step of the way, but Broome picked him up. That was over 1.25 miles. He jumps out, he goes, his stable companion goes with him for a while there, Norway, and they went a real good gallop. Norway didn't keep going, and the 66 to 1 shot does. There he is, he's lobbing along in front, his 2 ears pricked, but from a long ways out these two stretched. Neither Ryan Moore or the boys behind, Kevin Manning, Chris Hayes and Donncha decided to go after him, and when they decided to get to him, there just was nothing there. This fella kept galloping.
What do you say? Like he's after going out in front, doing all the donkey work. The horse is clearly very honest, because what you'd think for the first half mile of the race that he's gone so quick that he'd have to falter, but when Porrick gives him the business, he extends away again. Norway does no more to give. Ryan and Donncha and Chris Hayes from a long way, you can see by their body language that they were trying to make up the ground. You can see coming down the hill here in the Curragh, they had more than 10 lengths to make up on the leaders, and they were doing their best to do that. They didn't want to get their horses too involved, thinking that the horses in front would come back.
But this horse every other day.
This horse didn't stop today. He might have stopped in the trials, but Broome, who had beaten him in Leopardstown, didn't ever land a blow. Ryan Anthony Van Dyke got up for second and he got involved, but he was never ever within touching distance of this horse. It's a hard thing to get your head around. We're talking all about the main three. If you're not in, you can't win.
No.
That's a fine example.
But he folded at Epsom as well. Like, I mean, he's folded a few times.
How hardy must he be? Because he's been to all the dances.
And he's been the pacemaker in most of them.
And he's raced very hard. And usually, if you're in that role, you might start thinking in your mind a bit, getting a little bit ungenuine. But
what about
wow,
Peggy? He got a ride on the horse in Epsom and won the Irish Derby, or the Epsom
held
Derby.
Up Wings of Eagles,
yeah,
came
Wings
late,
of Eagles, and now he
did
wins
the
an Irish
opposite
Derby.
here.
I'd say Pádraig Peggy hasn't ridden 8 winners in the last 2 years. 2 of them have been derbies. Brian?
Aidan O'Brien, I didn't see that coming. Surely you didn't either.
He's a very well-bred horse, and he's by Galileo. He had a few very good runs last year. He'd been working very well, and Pádraig gave him a lovely ride. He broke handy. He's very comfortable all the way, and he just kept galloping, you know. So he's bred by David and Diane with Sue and John, you know. So it's incredible, really. Those well-bred Galileos,
anything is possible. But you used the word incredible, but it is incredible because the form book said that he couldn't win Aidan.
Yeah, he's a highly rated horse. He had a few very good runs, and he had a very good run behind Japan in the Burgford last year as a 2-year-old. So his form was all there. He won his maiden in Galway by I think 8 or 10 lengths. You know, so stamina was a big thing.
The thoughts during the race when Pádraig and Norway, the two, what we thought were the pacemakers, making a good, sensible, even pace up front.
Yeah, the plan was to go an even gallop. It was nothing. It wasn't going to be. It was going to be comfortable, and I think. For what reason? Donnacha's horse missed the break and he broke last, so he was neutralised straight away. So I suppose everyone might have been expecting Donnacha to be sitting third, and then I suppose when they realised that Donnacha wasn't there, the two lads were gone. But it was a very solid run. But Kevin followed him, and he took the field along to him. But he just didn't stop.
Turning in, you must have thought they're not going to get to this guy.
No, it's a Galileo trait. They'll go down on their knees like if you saw a horse pulling a card, they will go down on their knees galloping until there's no more to give. They're the most incredible breed of an animal you've ever had anything to do. So genuine, Brian, is incredible. But delighted for Pádraig.
You have to say that Wings of Eagles in the Epsom Derby goes to show you when you're with Ballydoyle and you stay loyal, your turn will come.
Yeah, no, and James done a great job with this fella. James Canaan rides him out every day. Robbie, who is in charge of him, Michael, who leads him up. Seamus has been riding him work. So they're the people. So delighted for them all, really. No, I can't tell you how delighted we are.
Well done to you. We're going to speak to the jockey, Pádraig. A big day for him.
Thanks very much, Brian.
Well, just to tell you, this is Pádraig Begley's first win of the year. Pádraig, you picked a good day to do it, an Irish Derby for your first win of 2019.
Yeah, look, very, very lucky to, for Aidan and the whole team to give me the spin in this horse. Yeah, I was thinking to myself when I pulled up, this is my first winner of the year, but Ireland at the moment is very, very hard. Declan McDonough, champion jockey, had one ride today. So, it's very hard. But anybody come in on these.
You're the man for the big occasion. We've seen you winning the Epsom Derby on Wings of Eagle. But what does it mean to you to win your local derby here, the Irish Derby here in Kildare?
Yeah, the Irish Derby, to me, it would definitely mean more. My home track, proud Irish man. And, just very, very privileged to get a spin on a horse like this. And in fairness, this horse won very, very well. But I served my time here for Kevin Prendergast. So this was the race that I would have aimed as a young lad to win.
It's a great, great success, and well done to Micheál, who looks after the horse. I know all the team are delighted. Well done, Pádraig. He's just telling us that Micheál led him up on Wings of Eagle as well, so that's a nice moment for them.
I wouldn't say too many saw that coming, Robert.
Not at all. No, goodness.
He's the first pacemaker I ever saw to win the Derby. Now, I know people say he ran on his merits, but he was there to do the donkey work, buck out of the gate, go as hard as you can for as long as you can, and drag him. Jeez, he dragged everything.
Yeah, I've seen front runners. I've seen front runners win the Derby, but I mean,
he wasn't a front runner as such.
This fella was doing a job.
Yeah. I mean, San Jovid went a good gallop and quickened up. He won as Jane said, like if he was a well-fancied horse and he'd done that performance, he was the horse of a lifetime.
Jane, I tell you, Aidan, he often refers to Galileo. The sire of the first, the fire of the second, the fire of the third. They just dig in, don't they? They are remarkable.
Yeah, he's extraordinary. This is his 79th individual Group 1 winner. He's already surpassed his own father, Sadler's Wells. He's bred by Barnestown, so they've Flag of Honour, Kew Gardens, Oratorio, Yates, you can keep mentioning off all the very good horses that they've bred. But special mention, this is a huge day for Padraig Beggy. What a special day this is going to be for him and his family. A two-time Derby winner now of the Epsom and Irish Derby. And the man leading them up, Micheál Hinchy, he led up Wings of Eagles the day he won in Epsom. What a duo. They're each other's lucky charm, those two men. And I know a lot of people, I'd say barely anybody had a few quid on him, but he went out there, he did all the donkey work, and he kept going better than all the rest. He was the target. He had a target on his back everywhere through the race, and nobody could get near him.
And if Padraig Beggy was Frankie Dettori or Ryan Moore and did the same thing, you'd say, oh God, he got the fractions right. He knows what he's doing. But because he's Padraig Beggy and he wins a 33 to 1 shot, people look at him as a mistake. Padraig done a great job. He had some left in the tank when he turned in, and away he went again. As I said, Shamie Heffernan followed him. He finished third, Ryan Moore. But there was no place. This horse, absolutely. What's the official verdict? 5 or 6 lengths or 8 lengths?
Certainly 5 or 6, isn't it?
There's John Magner and Aidan's mum standing in there as well. Aidan the extreme left.
Tom Magner nearest to us.
Sarah and Anna both there. Tom Magner and Anne-Marie in the background. 13 Irish Derbies. Padraig Beggy, as I said, he's ridden about 8 winners in the last couple of years, and 2 of them have been derbies, the Epsom Derby and the Irish Derby. Some of the greatest jockeys in the world that cut their right arm off to do the same thing.
Well, Ryan is yet to win it. Mick Canaan took 18 attempts before Galileo came along and conquered it for him. But look at that horse, great disposition about him. And we never really took any notice of him before the ring.
And I'll wash his chestnut.
But sure, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, but I was saying I'll wash his chestnut at the same time. The fellas that look him out and you pull him out of the sales ring and say don't like his colour.
Because the artist always painted bays, that's all. There's nothing wrong with a good chestnut.
He's not a good chestnut, he's a washy chestnut.
It was a massive performance. I'd love to watch it from the get-go, because from every inch of the way Padraig Beggy pressed forward, he obviously got a breather in down the hill, because you don't see out a mile and a half around here unless you give the horse a chance. But Shamie Heffernan went with him, couldn't stay with him. Broome, Anthony Van Dyke, Mad Moon sat off the pace.
Jane, he didn't wear a noseband in Epsom. It's just interesting, is it?
It didn't bring her out that much of an improvement, just a noseband.
I wonder why.
But Aidan always tries something different, Robert, as you know. He'll try and do everything right by the horse.
Broome gave it away a bit at the start. He came out quite sluggishly, and we'll see now Padraig moseying up there. Nor when he's outside Shamie Heffernan. 2 of them are going a good gallop. The horse in front is his ears pricked. He's liking it. Go back to the Mactoon colours there on the inside, Mad Moon. He's just on Chris Hayes' hands. He's not running away with him, but he's just on his hands. And Dick Van Dyke is travelling lovely in 4th place there. Kevin Manning is in 3rd. There's a nice gap along between them, but not a savage gap here now. You'd be happy enough and say, well, there's a bit of a gap there, 6 or 8 lengths. We'll get that when we want it. Then it gets a bit serious when you get to the top of the hill. It's ever increasing along here now. 2 boys in front are letting it roll, and they didn't slow down up the hill, where the others might have just said, well, they will come back. Tracy has John Magner. We'll get that back in a minute.
Yes, delighted to be here with John. We're just chatting about the race. The horse won on merits. May have not been what everybody expected, but a great success all the same. Bred by Barnestown stud as well, John. Obviously, you're delighted.
Well, they're no strangers to breeding Derby winners and Oaks winners, and from a small number of mares, they really do very well, and we're lucky with the horses we buy from them.
Absolutely. Now, Padraig, he played a blinder. He got away from the field, and he stayed there, and the horse didn't give in.
Absolutely, and that's Galileo for you. You know, he just puts that thing into him, whether it's a Galileo mare or his sons. They just have that will to win, and they can, they can just run above themselves. So that's it, really.
Another Irish Derby success for the Ballydoyle team. I mean, unbelievable for Aidan O'Brien to achieve what he's achieved.
Yeah, I was talking to JP McManus this morning, and we were talking about, wouldn't it be good if Kevin won, which everybody here wanted Kevin to win. including a part of us. But he said, you know, people shouldn't forget that Aidan left school without formal education. He went picking strawberries, he became a stable lad, he worked his way up, so it's available for any teenager in this country can do what Aidan O'Brien did. So it's available to everybody, and he got to where he is by hard work and ability.
Here, here, John, congratulations. Thank you.
Thanks.
They're bowling along in front. There's a nice gap after a period now back to Kevin Manning on that at this stage, and it just widens. But the lads in front are still sitting, Jane. Shamey is just out of old elbows are moving, but Pargabergi is pitched up there like dead comfortable.
He's very comfortable, and when you go from the 7 to the 5 here in the Curragh, you're going uphill, you're climbing. You'd imagine at some stage here Pádraig must have give his horse a chance, because Kevin Manning is sitting 10 lengths off the pair in front and he's very comfortable. Just at Todd stage, Anthony Van Dyke, he's getting a slap down the shoulder there from Ryan. He just wants to be as far forward as he is. Now you're running from the 5 down to the 3 here in the Curragh, you're running downhill before you meet the straight. That's the only chance where you can really give yourself a chance to roll, a chance to get your horse balanced and ready for the final battle. You can see Shamey Heffernan does his best to move upsides Pádraig, but Pádraig's horse senses that. Horse doesn't get to his flank, but he puts a length between him again. The horse is in behind at this stage. You're going to have to stop to make up that amount of ground on level ground here at the Curragh.
Well, Norway does stop. Shamey looks behind him. He stops because Ryan gets to him. Now the man Moon comes under pressure here. He doesn't stay going to be third or anything. He fails to be fourth. But the winner gets a gear then, and when Pádraig gets a couple of tears into him, he quickens up again, and hard as the others try, they never get it back. In fairness to the favourite, Anthony Van Dyke, he ran all the way to the line. Kevin's horse ran well too. He's probably stayed, but he was beat at the mile and 2 point, and he just doesn't quite get to Norway.
It was a monster performance from the winner. You just have to give the credit where it's due. He didn't stop.
He didn't stop, is right. And a great ride, you have to say, by Pádraig Beggy. And nothing to lose when you jump out there and you're told to make it a good gallop. If he folds, no one's going to say to you went too fast.
Nobody's going to say pacemaker went too fast.
If you're riding a 6-4 shot and you do that, they'll shoot you.
David Watchman is accepting the trophy from Colin McLaughlin, and the trophy there on the podium, that is a sculpture by Siobhan Bulfin. It's absolutely magnificent. Well done to everybody. So it's been a wonderful sponsorship. I think it's already done 12 years, or in its 12th year. Colin was a man who started in Shannon duty free. He went to Dubai in 1983, I believe. He's the executive vice chairman and the CEO of Dubai Duty Free, and he loves coming back to Ireland. And don't forget, he's got the Irish Open coming up, the Dubai Duty Free Irish Open. That starts on Thursday, and that is live on RTE as well. Well done, Dubai Duty Free. Well done, Ballydoyle. Well done, Pádraig Beggy. He has ridden a stormer. There's Aidan. He's played a stormer. They've all done so well. What's that, 14 for Aidan, is it?
13 for Aidan. What can you say? Sure, there's no superlatives would really do him justice. He's an amazing man. And all those horses go out there in the fit and the peak of their health. They're so fit, and the way they take racing is such a credit to the way he trains. Each day they have busy campaigns once they get going, but every day they run on merit. It's a joy to watch. He's such a talented man.
There's the young All-Magner boys, and the boss man himself there.
So we've got a full presentation party. Also coming to the party is Tom Magner as well. Ladies and gentlemen, could I ask you please to show your appreciation to the winning connections of the Dubai Duty Free Irish Derby there, Southern.
Well, I tell you what, you wouldn't mind being a bookmaker today, that's for sure. Certainly in the big one. 33 to 1. Did anybody back him?
I was there, and he should be. It was El Paradiso. I thought should be 100 to 1, but at the same time, I thought this horse should be a big price. Now he did lead Broome into the straight when they won the Derby's down every step of the way and finished second to him.
But Blenheim Palace finished. Blenheim Palace finished second that day, where this horse finished third. Blenheim Palace got beaten in a handicap earlier in the day. It's amazing the way the form has turned around.
You can say what you like and you can sing all the praise you like, but it was a bit of a for form students and for form of the race and everything else, it's hard to make it out.
I met a woman here earlier in the day. She asked me for a tip. I said, don't ask me, what do you think yourself? She said, I picked them by the colours. And I hope she liked pink colours in that race. She'd have got €66 for her €1.
What a great game it is, and we're going to take the starting prices now on this latest renewal of the Dubai Duty Free Irish Derby.
Thanks, Roberto. Yes, remarkable, extraordinary, and in answer to your question, pretty much a skinner for the bookmakers here at the Curragh this afternoon. Not too many people saw that one coming. The 105 rated Sovereign, he was 50 to 1 in the betting shops this morning when they opened. Returns a double carpet 33 to 1 here on the track. And just to emphasise what Jane Mangum was saying, Pádraig Beggy, well, what a success this is, because it's over a year since he's ridden a winner in this country, 21 rides in that time span, and yet he's popped up at 33 to 1 today in the big one. Second number 1 is stablemate Anthony Van Dyke, your 5 to 4 favourite. Third number 6 Norway at 16 to 1. Brian Gleeson.
Yes, interesting comments from Chris Hayes, giving his take in the race, saying that real strong gallop. I made a plan to follow Ryan, but he was struggling a long way out. The leader had flown, and I was never going to make up that ground.
It's actually marvellous, isn't it? I mean, racing is a wonderful, wonderful game. You have to be in to win, and that is exactly what Sovereign was. Aidan left plenty in. The outsider wins. He makes all the running. Sovereign by 5 or 6 lengths. Fantastic. Well done to everybody concerned. Hope you enjoyed the coverage, and don't forget that we're back here next month. It is July the 20th of July. 20th of July, we got the Darley Irish Oaks, another classic. Let's hope it's another lovely day. See you then.
Takes a Derby Day treble. Can't give up now, let us make that clear. All I've had is a run around. Oh, embarking. And it's Sovereign who's clear. It's the outsider, the pacemaker. Pádraig Beggy did it up some a couple of years ago. It's a record again for Aidan O'Brien. Sovereign has won the Derby. Wake up, my love.
And hadn't done a huge amount, been sent off any price yet.